Yeah, I'm going to present my presentation for the HUBC. As you know that we already presented the part 1 of our HUBC in the second part. Maybe remembering what is our outcome and what is our purpose. Actually, I just draw a diagram that actually our outcome for the HUBC course was publish a journal article and the purpose to get social work registration in New Zealand. After the presentation first, we have gone through different stages, and because of the reflection, the purpose, the outcome has changed to for this course to do an outline for the journal article, and definitely we'll be finishing the journal article in the end of this year. And the purpose still the same. We'll be getting the social work registration as in the New Zealand contest. Okay, the statement on the evaluation of process. As we move towards the review learning outcome, the intended outcome for this course is a comparative study of medical and psychiatric social work and outline study. That is our actual goal for this course, an outline study of comparing the New Zealand and Indian medical and psychiatric social work. Comparing Indian and New Zealand medical and psychiatric social work, that will be the intended study for this course. Journal article will be the actual outcome based on this outline, and the real purpose of my review of learning is getting the registration from Social Work Registration Board. The reflection in the process. My reflection is based on John Levy model. I've just drawn the diagram. It's contained 4 steps: observation, acquiring direction. It again is subdivided into 4. That is suggestions and ideas, interrelations, hypothesis, reasoning, and one more, action. The third gesture is the judgment. The fourth one is action. What I observed and what I reflected through my course is that sometimes after observation we can suddenly jump to the action. It is not compulsory that it should go in the same circle or regular circle 1, 2, 3, 4. It can jump from 1 to 4. It can jump from 1 to 3. It can jump from 1 to 2. So that's my reflection. What I learned through this course. One of the reflection I observed in this course is actually the course, the real outcome for this course is the comparative study of New Zealand and India, the medical and psychiatric social work. We have 4 in the group, and we have divided the social work students into 4. And myself will be doing the psychiatric social work in New Zealand. Rigu is doing psychiatric social work in India. Anisha is doing medical in India.
New Zealand. New Zealand.
Medical in New Zealand, and Asha is doing medical in India. So we have divided the topic into 4. Actually, it is a very vast and wide topic, and we cannot cover by this SEM, or it cannot be covered by a single student. So we divided into 4 students. That's another reflection. That is, when we do the database, we found that there are almost 2 lakhs, 3 lakh studies in New Zealand context itself. So for me, it is impossible to do the complete study. So we divided into 4 groups. So when we come into my study, that is New Zealand study of psychiatry, I found that more than 2 lakh studies is there when I look from almost 50 years back. Then I cut down into, again, this is the diagram, That's my observation when I see that there are almost 2 lakh studies. Then after I observed, and I got a direction from Dr. Hart that we have to cut down the real search to limited years. That is like 15 years, 10 years, 5 years, 3 years, 1 year, 6 months. So that's my reflection, and that's the suggestions and ideas from the facilitator that helps me to narrow down the topic into 6 months. So I found that there are almost 500, almost it's a number that can be handled by a single person. So this is what happened actually. Actually we were planned to do an journal article, then we have moved the plan to outline of journal article. Why it's happened? Because I said this earlier, the amount of journal article in New Zealand itself is a very big one, so we have just cut down it. Because of these steps, the reflection, the observation was there, actual observation was there, current direction from facilitators, judgment was there, and because of judgment, the real action happened to 6 months study or 6 months search. So these are the stages I went through in these courses, in this the reflection of review of learning. The outcome has changed slightly from the real to an outline. The reasons are, actually the first question came to my mind, why? It is the was and why topic. The second question came to my mind is what? One person cannot take one topic A, so one took the medical in India, second and take psychiatry, likewise in psychiatry. The third question come to my mind was how? Search through database in India and New Zealand, and then what? Identify the vastness of research, again then what? Make comparison. So that was the plan of our study. The second stage was the main work, psychiatric social work in India and in New Zealand. How I am able to search the real data in New Zealand. So these are the steps I found. First one is find a database. Second one, find as many number of studies in psychiatry in New Zealand. Find the themes, find any other connections, and what is the reflection. So I have chosen these steps to find what are the studies conducted in New Zealand, especially in psychiatry. The third stage was meeting with facilitators. Dr. Hurt guides the whole process of doing this work, helps to come out from the liminality, and it is a real sign of true reflection. Means once we feel that we have stuck in somewhere, that really tells us that we are in the process of reflection. So sometimes when we start a work and there is no obstacles and we don't find any problems, and suddenly we may come into a conclusion or we can come to an action plan. I don't believe that that's the true way of reflection. The true way of reflection is always popping up the questions will be coming. Is that right? Is the direction is good? Is what I'm doing is good or bad? So a lot of questions will be coming to our mind. So that's a true sign of reflection. So definitely that happens into my case also. When I started doing this study, the questions starts to arise from the beginning. What I noticed is that before doing the presentation 1, the questions, the liminality was very, very less. But after the presentation 1 until to this presentation 2, we have crossed so many experience that a lot of questions came to our mind, and through the conversation with facilitators and with the peer group conversations, the questions get reduced. So what I want to say is that definitely there will be questions in our mind when we do a reflection. So that's a true way, that's a true sign of reflection. With observation and judgment, decided to cut down and short the year of research. So that's the same point I have already explained. Proper guidance was there, systematic working to get ideas and solutions. When we go back to the John Dewey's model, it is said that there is suggestions and ideas. So definitely when you want to do a reflection, there should have some ideas, there should have some suggestions. So suggestions and ideas only will help us to reach the real action. Most of the meeting with Dr. Hurd was a real reflection. Observation was there, accurate directions was there, suggestions and ideas. Stage 4. The main finding in psychiatric social work in New Zealand. So these are themes I found in the New Zealand context. These are some of the themes, but there are still more to write. These are the very interesting themes I found in New Zealand, especially the study in psychiatry. And the major themes I found, I just took only 3 themes, that's family, mental and psychiatric disorders and children. So the major themes I found in these cases are partner abuse, supporting partners, community treatment in order, violence. In looking on the mental and psychiatric disorders, there are problems like bipolar, panic disorders, mental health professionals, dementia. When you go to the children, there are abuse after separation, violence, mental illness, health camps, adoption and social work. I just explained 3 themes what I found in the study. In conducting a research on children, students, youth from 2012 till date, the psychiatric social work in New Zealand is there is only 15 studies I have found. I have found through the Auckland University of Technology and Unitech Institute of Technology. There are almost 15 studies conducted all through these 3 years, and especially on the children, students and youth. The major themes in these groups are health, sleep disorders, mental health, earthquake and psychological well-being, adoption, professional health, childhood abuse, family and children, antidepressant, Pacific children, anxiety. I have taken 3 studies: socio-economic status, ethnic disparities, and I found that the high social economic status, that is SES, decrease these disparities. The keywords are children, economic status, ethnic group. This second study is earthquake in Christchurch, ecological function of medical students. And students have experienced mild and moderate difficulties. The third study I found there is a sleep disorder, depression, anxiety, and with young adult. Substance abuse increases the sleep and depression problems. What I understand in these themes is that if I am taking a single study in sleep disorder in a youth, the main problem why they have the sleep disorder is because they are using substance abuse. The same problem can be another problem for some other issues in New Zealand. So substance abuse can be a result for other studies also. So we have done this much and we have still more steps to do. That is, We need comparison studies with the finding of other 3 peer groups, finding out the gaps and teams, consultation with publishers, conduct seminar series both in Unitech and Social Organization Board. So the work is still on the way, and the reflective practice in the final steps. I find that these are some of the reflective practice we have to do in the final steps. We need more observation of these studies and themes, discussion with the facilitator, comparison with the peer group findings, suggestions and ideas. We need more suggestions, we need more ideas, we need action. And the second last point, the reflective evaluation, professional self and your practice. This diagram shows that we begin this course from here, and this is the end of the course, and this bar shows the semester break. That's the first sem and second sem. We started this course from here, and lot of questions came to our mind: how, when, where, then what, then what. Then we have planned to change to do an outline again in the forms in our mind. Then we start to look in another way. We are doing an outline for the journal article.